Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Oh, we have a lot coming up in sports with Piece of Garbage Madness updates. There were 13 matches over the weekend from Thursday to Friday till yesterday. And there's some surprises in there, some big upsets of people and things that are pieces of garbage in our brackets. Plus, we'll get to March Madness. And how about them bowls? But first, highlights of your weekend. We love it when you share things that happened over the weekend to you, good or bad. You know, helps get it out of your system now and then have a better week. Tim's checking in from Lombard. Tim, ahoy. Tell us about your weekend. Highlight of your weekend.
Went ahead and bought a minivan for my wife.
Oh, wow. So, do you have a kid?
Yeah, we have a 2-year-old, and then we have another daughter coming in June, and it was a back-and-forth battle getting the minivan, and she ended up loving it.
Oh, there you go. See, Megan's. I've said it to Megan. I floated that idea of like, let's get those minivans are kind of badass.
Yeah, it's a Honda Elite, and this thing has everything, and we really like it.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are, bud?
I am 36.
Did you think at 36 you'd be talking like about a minivan being badass when you were like 18?
No, you know what? And it's funny that I never thought I'd say those two words together as minivan and badass.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's pretty sweet, so we like it.
I picture you with your buddies chugging a Modelo. Goes, this thing's got everything, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's awesome. What kind did you get? Honda Elite?
Honda Odyssey.
Odyssey. Oh yeah. Oh,
Brian, keep your purchasing questions for later. You get his personal number.
You get a good deal on that?
Yeah, what dealership was that? Just relax.
Did you do the walk away and then come back and go, okay, I'll buy it for, this price? That usually works. He's back
I don't
in the
think
day.
that works anymore.
Actually, we did. We went on Thursday and beat him up on price a little bit, walked away, and came back on Saturday with the right price.
My man.
Tim, is it 3 rows of seating or 2?
Oh, it's 3.
Oh, yeah.
Now look at Case. Doesn't have a kid. He's fired up about that third seat.
Well, the way Tim put it over, it's the greatest car in the world at this point. I'm ready to buy a Honda Odyssey.
Love this. Love it.
DVD player, camera in the back, loud bass and everything.
Wait. Did you say CD player?
It's DVD player.
Oh, DVD.
Blu-ray.
Damn.
Wow, a little Moana 2 in the back seat.
Got a little camera to keep an eye on the kids when you're driving, and it's got it all.
Damn, dude. Happy for you, brother.
Jeez, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll talk off the air more about
No
this.
kidding.
Hang out this weekend.
Yeah, let's get together this weekend, bro, okay?
Let's race.
I still have the Harley to keep my man card, so.
No, it's gone. No,
Stop, Brian.
Still there, still in the garage.
you could have 17 motorcycles, that minivan, but that's okay, man. And I'm with you. I'm
Yeah,
right there with you, man.
All right. It's all right. It's sleek.
All right. Thanks, man, for checking in, man. Appreciate you. Enjoy that minivan. I want to go for a ride in that thing.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
can tell.
Other highlights of the weekend by text. Kenzie, what do you got?
Robert texted and said, bird flew into my car and my 12-year-old daughter left me for dead.
Holy crap.
So funny.
That is wild.
Fight or flight, and we found out she's a flight this weekend, huh?
Kid just ran out of the car.
Boom.
Yeah. We got a text in from our great friend Double Features Mike, who does our opening song and other things as well, including Piece of Garbage Madness, the bracket. Double Features guy put that together. Spent way too much on a new tube guitar amp. My wallet hates me, but my ears just got pregnant. You can't spend enough money on quality guitar amps.
Explain to me the tube amp.
So the tube amp, oh boy. Is this where we're going at 6:51?
You brought it up.
Okay, real quick. So amplifiers have gotten overly processed electric-wise, what they do with the computer chips, you see. They simulate old tube amps a lot of times. So you can buy, I like a brand called Line 6 that does incredible digital replication of old tube amps. You can't tell the difference. But if you buy a real tube amp, like Double Features Mike did, you're going to go, oh, it's real. Just like your AI world that you hate. And that's kind of what the amps do today. A lot of the newer ones, the old ones with those tubes, they sound warmer, richer, and the louder they get, the crunchier they get. Crunchier, distortion-wise. Like when you sing Corn, Kenzie, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Give us a little bit of Corn.
People want that. They want it to be crunchy.
You want it crunchy. Give us that Corn sound, like how it goes, the song.
That's more like freeform jazz.
Little Charlie Parker saxophone.
That's like a Miles Davis solo.
Well, I don't have the beat to go. I had to come up with my own beat.
Also, Tyson checked in from Wheaton, said, hi there, my weekend didn't die of Dieter beans.
God, it's an epidemic.
That's a lot. Keep checking in with the highlights of your weekend with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We'll get the sports here after Pearl Jam.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we will pour one out for George Foreman over the weekend. A very sad loss. A lot of people have attachment to him as a boxer, as an entertainment personality, or the George Foreman Grill. We have some audio to play that I guarantee you've never heard in honor of George Foreman. But looking right now at this moment, it was 20 years ago today, and this became a thing last year when I was infatuated by 2004. And it seemed like every week we had some major anniversary that 20 years ago today this happened. I remember we got on this because I was seeing some kind of doc, and TLC came up, and Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and I said, man, she died, I think, over 20 years ago. It turned out she was 25 years ago.
Well, specifically what happened was we were talking about Lisa Left Eye Lopez, as we do, and you were like, remember when she burned down Andre Rison's house like 10 years ago? And I said, Brian, that was almost 30 years ago. And then you were like, oh, my concept of time, just since the pandemic, everything's off. And so we've...
10 years ago? That's so funny.
So we've made a point ever since of celebrating 20-year anniversaries to try to put time in perspective.
And by the way, just to point out another one of those things that maybe is it just my brain that's messed up with time, and I think everything was more recent than it was, because we were talking to Bert Kreischer last week, and I brought up how he was on the...
Go ahead, sorry.
I brought up how him and Nikki Glazer, they crushed it on the Tom Brady roast, and I said in the interview with him, and thank God you guys didn't stop the interview and say, Brian, you're way wrong. I said a couple months ago, the Tom Brady roast. And Case, after we got done with the interview and got him off the phone, said, you know that was over a year ago, the Tom Brady roast, right? And I go, well, no, it was back like in December or something like that. Nope.
No, it wasn't.
It was over a year ago, the Tom Brady roast.
In fairness, the first time I saw it was a few months ago, because that's when I had time to watch it. So that seemed accurate.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you were on board with me on that one.
I watched it a few months ago.
Yeah, so time is a mother effer since the pandemic. I don't know if my brain's the only one that got messed up. Taking the vaccine,
Oh, boy. Our friend Dickie Barrow will be calling in later.
I just thought I'd throw that in. It was an easy layup. But what?
Obviously, you're forgetting stuff. You should bring up the vaccine. Easy layup.
But 20 years ago today, what debuted, but one of the greatest TV shows of all time, The Office, debuted 20 years ago today, March 24th, 2005. And this show, no matter what clip we play when we're talking about something and come up either with a Family Guy clip or an Office clip, everybody listening, no matter what, has a reference point and remembers that clip and laughs very heartily at it. We've once talked about we could do a show just playing Office clips. We could take the day off and everybody be pretty happy.
Oh, my God, they'd love it.
I don't know if they'd love it more than the show or not, but I know we could do that.
Kenzie, do you think The Office is the funniest show of all time?
To me, yeah. I get why some people are like, rah, 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 my show is, and that's fine. I don't need to get yelled at.
What do they say?
Rah, 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 my show's funnier.
Is that when you're talking to a dog or people?
That's unfortunately people. It made me laugh the hardest. It's my funniest show of all time. It just there's certain shows that people find funny that I don't find funny at all that are really popular, so I get it. I don't think The Big Bang Theory is funny at all. I've tried it multiple times, and it's never made me laugh. And that's totally fine if you feel that way about The Office, but I do think it's the funniest show of all time.
I don't think you're far off in a brave take on that one. I think most people put it in top 5 lists of the top funniest show of all time. Case, I know you love it as well.
It's fantastic. I think it's almost underrated in just how funny it is.
Well, let's give a couple clips, as we'll do all morning long, in honor of The Office. 20 years ago today, this is Kenzie's favorite clip. It's Diversity Day.
Oh, my God.
Does this need a setup?
Yeah, it does. Kenzie, do you want to set it up, or do you want me to set it up?
Nah, is this the clip between Dwight and Pam?
Yes, it is.
I haven't heard it.
I have it labeled in our show audio folder as Kenzie's favorite.
This is my favorite. It was one of the first episodes I saw, obviously, because it's from season 1. So, Michael Scott, the boss of The Office, is in a lot of trouble for doing the exact reiteration of a Chris Rock skit. So, with all of the language. And so basically a man comes in to teach diversity. Michael Scott didn't think that he did a good enough job, so he's doing his own take. And everybody has to wear pieces of paper on their head. and get treated as the stereotype of the race on their head. Pam has Jewish on her head. She doesn't know it. And Dwight has Asian on his head, but doesn't know it.
Correct. And this is the conversation between Pam and Dwight.
Okay, do me. Something stereotypical so I can get it really quick.
Okay, I like your food.
Outback Steakhouse. I'm Australian, mate.
Pam, Pam, come on. I like your food. No, come on. Stir the pot. Stir the melting pot, Pam. Let's do it.
If I have to do this, based on stereotypes that are totally untrue, that I do not agree with, you would maybe not be a very good driver.
Oh, man, am I a woman?
Oh, that's so good.
That's so stupid.
All right, we'll do one more in here. We'll do it all morning long, but we have the clip here named Prison Mike.
Prison Mike. I think maybe the funniest scene in the show.
And what kind of lead-in does this need?
So they merged branches between Scranton and another department in another city, and one of the guys that came over turned out to be an ex-con, and Michael was under the assumption he was convincing everybody that prison was better than Dunder Mifflin. So he put on a purple bandana and created a character called Prison Mike, and this is what Prison Mike sounds like.
I'm Prison Mike. You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Do you really expect us to believe you're somebody else?
Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch? All right, hey, that's just the way we talk in the clink.
What's the very, very worst thing about prison?
Don't encourage him, Dwight.
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. They were flying all over the place, and they were scary, and then they'd come down and they'd suck the soul out of your body, and it'd hurt.
Dementors like in Harry Potter?
No, not Harry Potter.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. About 8 minutes away, we'll have some AJR tickets for you to throw at you. But in the meantime, we have to pour one out.
How do I say goodbye?
Very sad, whether you were a fan of his entertainment stuff, his entrepreneurial spirit, or just being one of the greatest boxers of all time, the hardest hitter. George Foreman passed away at the age of 76. Really sad because he was just a lovable guy. You can't say anything bad about George Foreman. I don't know if we do a deep dive on him. I don't think we can find anything.
You know what's great is if you go to George Foreman's Wikipedia, there's no controversy section.
That's what I was.
I love that.
Yeah. Do you think when your Wikipedia is all finished up, Kenzie, there's any controversy section?
You know what, Brian? How about you bend over, go F yourself, talk to me like that?
That would be on there.
Keep my name out of your whore mouth.
Yep, all that stuff's going to be on our Wikipedia page. I'm going to add it.
That's a quote.
Yep. She called me a whore mouth.
Told you to bend over.
Yeah, bend over. It's very, very bullying.
I
but
stutter.
You don't see that with George Foreman's Wikipedia page. It's very nice, clear. And, a lot of people, again, you might just only know him from the grill. I really mean that. There might be a lot of people.
I said that this weekend because my husband goes, "Oh my God, George Foreman died." And I go, "The grill guy?" And he's like, "Well, yes."
Well, Kenzie, let me just educate you and everybody else about really the level of what he was as George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore on November 5th, 1994 to win the heavyweight title 21 years after winning it for the first time. That's insane.
It's insane. And 73 beats Joe Frazier, utterly destroys him. It's a quick fight. Foreman knocks him out super quick. And then 21 years later, he's like, I think I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. And this call, by the way, which is one of the greatest calls in boxing history, sounds like it was from the 1930s. This is 1994. Listen to this.
George Foreman enjoying his best round of the fight here in round 10. There's a right hand. Down goes Moore. He's flat on his back. He may not get up. He's not moving. Moore could be about to lose the heavyweight title. I don't believe this. Joe Cortez pulls up the count. It is over. And George Foreman has pulled off the miracle that no one thought possible.
Where are those calls today?
No kidding.
That was great. He's not getting up? No, he's not getting up. That was a great part of that.
He's flat on his back. He may not get up. He's not moving. Not
Maybe.
Shut up, a-hole. He's not moving.
I mean, he really just wanted to be like, listen, dumbass, he's not even moving.
It's very Kenzie-like color man there.
It's my job to be the color commentary in any sport. I think it'd be so fun.
What are you talking about? He's not moving, you idiot.
Get up! Not maybe, he's not moving!
That's me.
It's one of the greatest, feats in sports history. 21 years after winning the heavyweight title, wins it again in 94. And also we have a clip of George Foreman hitting the heavy bag. And when you hear, you can almost feel the punches through this audio.
So this is from the documentary When We Were Kings. Brian, have you seen this?
I have not. I've heard about it through you and others, but boy, I have not seen it.
Okay, my recommendation to everybody, Kenzie, including you, because I actually think you'd love it. It's on Netflix right now. It's a documentary about Muhammad Ali and George Foreman fighting 1974 in Zaire, which it becomes a part boxing event, part music festival where like B.B. King and James Brown are there playing music, and then there's a big boxing match. It's incredible, but I rewatched it yesterday because I think it's one of the 5 best sports documentaries yesterday, or one of the 5 best sports documentaries of all time. I rewatched it yesterday, and this clip about George Foreman punching as hard as humanly possible it blew me away.
Very Rocky-like.
And he had a trainer, a big Sadler, tiny by comparison to Foreman, and Sadler would hang on to the heavy bag, but Foreman would hit this bag. Sadler would just literally be picked off his feet.
Foreman hitting the heavy bag is one of the more prodigious sights I've had in my life. It seems to me that of all the people I've seen hitting heavy bags, including Sonny Liston, no one ever hit it the way Foreman did.
I love these guys talking like Harvard professors while this guy's destroying the game.
I have to be honest. Like, I find myself, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm a little lippier sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be nervous if I was with him. I'd be like, I'm not going to get lippy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a little terrifying. Keep that to myself. No, thank you.
So let's make a list of the people that Kenzie won't be lippy around.
Mm-hmm.
George Foreman.
Yeah.
That's the list.
That's the whole list.
That's the whole list.
Thus far.
I don't think there's going to be additions on that.
And counting.
Sadly, he passed away, so he was the only one on the list. That's it. And, real tragic loss. And I think a lot of people, again, might just know him from the George Foreman grill. I had one. Did everybody have one of those? You have one of those, Kenzie?
Yeah, of course I did. Because I was like, when I was single and living alone, it was perfect.
Case, you have one?
My parents sent me to college with one.
They're the best. Actually, I gave my old one to my mother-in-law because she, she's whooping it up. She's having the best time of her life. She's, single in her own house. And she loves coming home making one little chicken sandwich. She loves that damn thing.
I picture Case going to college with a stick with a handkerchief with his underwear in it and a George Foreman grill in the other hand.
Chicago, here I come.
Go off to college, son. Here's a commercial he had with his 4 other sons, which, by the way, he had 5 sons. And they were all named George Foreman.
Yeah, and then I guess he named his one daughter Georgetta.
And he had 6 other daughters, too. But he finally just like, okay, I'm going to start naming them like Lisa and stuff like that.
I think women finally were like, listen, they finally got the courage. I get look at him. I'd be like, okay, we can name him George. Relax.
Here is the George Foreman grill with his sons in it. That's awesome.
This is my George Foreman family-sized grill that
No, it isn't. It's my George Foreman griddle that cooks pancakes. No, it's my George Foreman bacon oven, and it's making pizza. No. It's actually my omelet maker that makes delicious. No, it isn't. It's a griddle. Omelet making
Calm
oven.
down, guys. You're all right. It's my G5 with 5 removable cooking plates, so it makes all of your favorite foods, and it knocks off the fat.
The George Foreman G5. It's the next grilleration.
I love that music at the end.
The whole thing is great. It knocks out the fat. They say at the end, it's the next grilleration.
It's a fantastic commercial.
That's, what happened to that?
Yeah, I want to hear that music at the end again.
Your favorite foods, and it knocks off the fat.
The George Foreman G5. It's the next grilleration.
What happened to commercials that fit a guitar solo in? Jeez. God, that's
we could have that commercial twisted. It's unbelievable.
Man, I had a George Foreman grill living alone in an apartment building with no deck, so you couldn't have, a grill. And one of me and Megan's, I think it was our 4th date, I invited her over. I was going to cook her some dinner. I said, I'm going to make you a meal, lady. So come on over here. And she came over to my house, and I made her pork loins on the George Foreman grill. I had some broccoli. I boiled some broccoli and had a little Caesar salad, had a little chocolate cake for dessert, which I bought. I didn't make the cake.
Not on the Foreman?
Yeah. But I got to say, I think she...
So while you were knocking out the fat, you were buying chocolate cake.
That's right. The fat was knocked out. Cake was fatty. But I just got to imagine, and listen, we've been married now coming up on 4 years, together almost 7. No, we're over 7. We're coming up on 8, I think.
It's your wife. You tell us.
Yeah, and I just got to imagine that she pictured something like the Iron Chef of like all these pans and stuff going on, and I just had this George Foreman grill on the counter. I go, you get ready for deliciousness. You're going to Flavor Town. I've got this George Foreman grill, and I've seasoned these perfectly. And I got to say, they worked. It was delicious. It was great.
The fact that she stayed with you after you pulled out a George Foreman grill and said, you're about to go to Flavor Town is unbelievable.
She's a special lady. Very special lady.
Very special.
And leading from the George Foreman grill as we're pouring one out for George Foreman, how about this? An incredible episode of King of the Hill where George Foreman was on it, and he's arguing with Hank Hill about carrying the George Foreman grill in the store. Of course, Hank Hill, the king of propane, not standing for it.
Hey, maybe there's something you can do for me. How'd you feel about carrying my grill in your shop?
Oh, sorry, we have a strict policy about that. No novelty grills.
Novelty grill?
Yeah, no offense, but your grill is kind of like an iron.
You're calling my grill an iron? I've been hit below the belt before, but nothing like this.
I think it's a great product for dieters or little girls who want to play barbecue, but you can't compare it to a propane-powered grill. And at least my grill isn't sold in housewares.
Let it go, Daddy. He ain't worth it. You're right. George 3, get this man out of my face.
George 3.
George 3.
So good. Gone too soon. George Foreman at the age of 76.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Now, it's Daytona time. Your chance to win a trip for 2 to Daytona, Florida to experience Welcome to Rockville. Standard message and data rates apply. Please don't text and drive.
Q101.
Well, let's do this. Welcome to Rockville at Daytona International Speedway, May 15th to the 18th. It's got Green Day, Lincoln Park, Korn, Shinedown, and more. This is an exclusive VIP trip with Airfare Hotel and the highest level VIP you can get. It's called the Daytona Owners Club. That means you get food, drink, air conditioning. Plus, you're going to meet Newfound Glory, Jimmy Eat World, Taking Back Sunday. All you got to do is text this word to 95819. The word is rock. Text rock, R-O-C-K, to 95819 right now for your chance to win that trip. Rock to 95819 for a chance to go to Rockville. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. You got about a half hour to get that word in. If you're in the middle of something crazy, just take your time and get it in. I'm curious what your show is right now. Kenzie brought something up with, I think couples end up having shows, and then the individuals in the couples say, like, this is my show, this is his show, whatever.
Right.
For example, me and Megan right now are all in together on White Lotus. We've always been on she got me into it because she watched season 1 first. When season 2 came out, she goes, we can actually watch this without season 1. We did that, went back to season 1, and now we're in season 3. Season 3 is wild. A lot of controversy last week. We did not see last night's episode because they don't dump it all out on once. It's each week on Sundays, old school style.
Like the way a TV show should be consumed.
I'm convinced that you watch shows and you think differently about a show when you binge them as opposed to watching it when you got time to let it process for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love binging because you can do it on your own time, but also I think you think differently about a show when you have to wait a week for another episode.
Mm-hmm.
But what issue did you have with the show Severance with your husband?
Okay. So here's the deal.
Oh, boy.
I only get to watch stuff. Oh, no, it's
Hold
the whole
on,
thing.
You could just tell.
Let me get my popcorn and sit down here. Go ahead, Kenzie.
Okay. So here's what happened. Is that I only get to watch this whole, shows together and shows apart. We watch our shows together. Like, when the kids go to bed, we usually get to watch one episode. I only get to watch stuff that I want to see, which a lot of times it's movies. Like, I wanted to see a Nora and stuff like that. And I get to watch them in 30-minute increments when I work out. That's the only time I get to watch something by myself, okay? So it's a very limited space. My husband wanted to start Severance. And I knew, I'm like, this is a show with, deep meaning. It's slow. You have to figure stuff out. Will Ferrell's not in it. You're not going to want,
wow.
You do not want to watch Severance. And I wish it was a joke. I wish everything I just said was a joke. It's not a joke. I go, you don't want to watch this. Yes, I do. Everybody says it's good. I go, you're going to hate it.
Wait, what was your imitation of him again?
Everyone's is good. I'm like, okay.
That's her husband.
Yeah. I go, I don't care. Like, you're not. He has no patience. Like, even during The Bear, because that was a struggle to get him to go on that journey. Every episode that did like a deep dive into someone's life, no, main character's not in it. It's moving slow. Like, he can't handle this kind of stuff.
The Bear is a tough watch at times. You got to take breaks from The Bear if you haven't watched it yet and you want to catch up before season 4 drops later this year. The Bear has some tough episodes.
And I got to state real quick, I want to always make it known when I'm on Kenzie's side. And even though I haven't seen Severance, I know a lot about it because it's the show on Apple that everybody's talking about. And Kenzie, I know your husband well enough to say, not his show.
No.
Not his show.
And I've told him 100,000 times. He ignored me. He's like, we're starting it tonight, Saturday night. And I go, okay. And we put on an episode. I get pulled in by the episode. Now I want to know what happens. We got like 3 seasons to chew on. And my husband goes, well, we're never watching that again. And I would like to point out that in the first 3 minutes and 46 seconds, he goes, this better pick up. That's how fast things have to move for him and be interesting. There needs to be a car accident and then it's unbelievable. And I go, well, he's walking in the building, so if you could just relax. We don't even know what's in the building yet. So, and now I'm pissed because I want to watch it. And you know what sucks? I only get 30-minute increments every once in a while. It's going to take me 7 years to finish this show. And I'm so angry about it. I didn't want to start. Now I need to know what happens because I'm like that. I have to finish everything or it drives me insane. And now I'm stuck watching this show forever.
Okay,
and I'm pissed.
Okay, clearly. Couple things. Andy checked in. Kenzie equals impressionist. So do the impression of your husband again.
And everybody loves it. We're starting it tonight.
Boy, there's layers to it.
2, I love the comment of this better pick up like you wrote the show.
I know, like a threat. After I told him this is not the show for you, for weeks I've been trying to deter him from the scent of Severance, okay? Weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I
Let's
said...
better pick up.
You know, I did the same thing with Bridgerton because I kind of wanted to hang, hey, maybe we can watch a show together.
Not a show for you.
And I sat there.
I would never watch that with a man.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of it, and Megan loved Bridgerton. I don't know if she liked the last season as much, but the first couple that were all, naked people. And I said, why can't I watch naked people? I like naked people, but I guess not historical naked people. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. And eventually.
Or are you like current naked?
I like current.
Contemporary.
Yeah. I mean, and so I bailed out of it willingly. I said, you know what? You watch this. It's fine. Whenever I go to bed early and she's still up late at night at watching that show.
Alone without you, watching Bridgerton late at night.
Well, that's not
buzzing noise.
Yeah.
Weird. What is that humming?
Yeah.
What is going on?
But I don't know if anybody else has that. Like, I mean, it's very relatable. People checking in on shows that are the couple shows and the individual ones. Like, for example, I'm re-binging The Walking Dead right now when I eat lunch because I had never watched the last couple seasons because I just tapped out on it. I want to see if by binging, history will prove me that it's actually better when you binge it because the last season I watched, I think it was 8 and there's 11 and I'm on 7 right now. And I'm like, oh, I remember how bad it got. But people tell me.
That's how I felt about The Handmaid's Tale. I made it so far, and then it took a long time for a season to come out. And I'm like, oh my God, are you still stuck in America? Get out of there. And like, I can't. You have to solve a problem faster than that. I swear. I'm like oh God.
Ozark was incredible because I think it was 5 seasons or 4, but the 2, like they had double season for 4, so it was really 5.
And it moves fast. Problem solved, new problem. Problem solved, new problem.
Yep. And they realized, well, it's going to be the same episode every time if we just keep doing this. So let's just finally end it. And they had a great ending. Ozark was incredible. Cases or show you're into like this? Is just a situation you have going on in your household?
Well, we're having the problem where we're in between shows right now. So we just finished Friends, which I had never seen, which I had never seen before.
Are we in a time machine?
Funny show.
Funny show.
Had no idea it was that funny. So now we're catching up on the latest season of Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh.
Because we're into the whole Gordon Ramsay verse. We like Next Level Chef. We like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
We're into Kitchen Nightmares. The problem with the newer episodes of Kitchen Nightmares is Gordon Ramsay has become a nicer guy. So it's not as much him yelling as it is him offering small businesses advice. And so after the first 20 minutes, once he sees how bad the restaurant is, I'm not into the second half of the episode where he's helping people. I just want to see him yell. So I'm like Kenzie's husband in this scenario. I'm like, all right, let's pick it up. Can we move on to the next one? No. Okay, we have to see the woman cry, and they redesign the restaurant, and everything's happy. Not interested. I just want to see him yell at people, and I'm forced to sit through all these episodes in totality.
Yeah.
Too much at once.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm sitting there watching The Walking Dead, and I know Megan does not want to watch that at all. And I'm doing it while I'm eating lunch, and she's working from home, and she walks by the screen, and there's a zombie on there getting his head stomped in, and she's like, ew.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Yeah, no, it's great. The first,
Well, especially during lunch.
yeah. So I want to put on a calendar then, Kenzie, that you will give us a summary of Severance in 2032. Is that what it looks like?
Basically, because the episodes are long as hell. One was over an hour the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
he can't. Your husband can't handle that.
I know. You don't even understand, because sometimes we'll click on like a docu-series of a crime, right? That we're gonna I love watching. It's like 3 episodes and it goes over, and he'll be like, 4 episodes. I'm like, come, really, honey? Like, you can't commit. He's like, why can't they just squeeze it into one long one? I'm like, okay, I can't get him to stay there.
He gets mad at 4 episodes. Meanwhile, this is a man who watches 162 Cubs games a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about the longest repeat ever.
Well, let us know what show you're watching individually, your partner won't watch it, or ones you are watching with your partner. It's working out at 312-591-8300. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning, and Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.